Julius Caesar, the famous Roman general, once proudly declared, "I came, I saw, I conquered." I wonder what Max and Ruby will see and conquer when they arrive in ancient Rome.
Max, before you two go out, you need to give Ruby a bath, okay?
All right, Dad. Ruby, time for a bath! Ruby, most dogs don't like baths.
I love baths! You like my bubble beard?
You are too funny, Ruby.
Max, I know someone else who loved baths. I see you are using the time machine watch your grandma sent.
Yeah, it's great. Much more convenient than the laptop. But did you say something about baths? Because Ruby loves baths.
The ancient Romans loved public baths, Ruby. But they weren't just places to get clean. They were like giant community centers where people came to relax, exercise, and spend time with friends. And here's the amazing part. The Romans invented a clever heating system called a hypercaust. Hot air from large furnaces flowed beneath the floors and inside the walls, warming the rooms like an ancient version of central heating. Some baths even had hot pools, warm pools, and cold pools. Imagine that, Max. People were enjoying heated indoor swimming pools nearly 2,000 years ago.
Ruby, do you want to check out the baths of ancient Rome?
Let's go! Time for another adventure.
All right, Aiden. Let's go to Rome.
I figured I'd disguise you two as Roman legionnaires so you can get into places without being stopped.
And because we look so cool, Aiden, don't we, Max?
This is going to be awesome, Ruby. Let's go!
It was the city of Caesars and senators, legionnaires and gladiators. It was the home of Rome. There were chariot races in the Circus Maximus, Colosseum battles, they soaked in public baths. In ancient Rome, ancient Rome, all roads lead to Rome. In ancient Rome, ancient Rome, all roads lead to Rome. The Roman Empire stretched far and wide. Gaul, Germania, Hispania, Britannia, and Asia Minor, and more. There were chariot races in the Circus Maximus, Colosseum battles, they relaxed in warm baths. In ancient Rome, ancient Rome, all roads lead to Rome. In ancient Rome, ancient Rome, all roads lead to Rome.
Look, Ruby. In front of you is the Termae Augusti, also known as the Baths of Agrippa, commissioned by Marcus Vipsanius Agrippa in 25 BC. Originally requiring an entry fee, the complex was bequeathed to the Roman people by Agrippa after his death in 12 BC. As you two get changed in the apoditerium, or changing room, let me explain how a Roman bath works. First, workers keep a fire burning in a furnace called a praefurnium, usually built behind or beneath the bathhouse. They feed the fire with wood or charcoal, keeping it hot enough to warm the bathrooms. The hot air travels under raised floors, which stand on little brick pillars. As the hot air moves below, the stone floor above becomes warm under everyone's feet. Some hot air also rises through hollow walls or clay pipes, heating the room from the sides. The hottest room, the coldarium, is closest to the furnace. The high heat opens the pores for deep cleansing. The warm room, the tepidarium, is farther away, so it feels gentler, calmer, and used as the main social hub. Then comes the frigidarium, the cool room, where bathers splash into cold water to refresh themselves. To finish, Romans could rub on oils and perfumes, leaving clean, relaxed, and ready for the rest of the day. Max, at its peak, Rome had nearly 1,000 bathing facilities, showing just how much Romans loved their public baths.
How did they get all the water to Rome and almost 1,000 public baths?
First, Roman engineers found fresh water far away from the city, often from springs, rivers, or mountain streams. Next, they built a long stone channel called an aqueduct to carry that water toward Rome. The aqueduct had to slope gently downhill. Not too steep, not too flat. Just enough for gravity to pull the water forward. Most of the water traveled underground or along covered channels to keep it clean and protected. When the aqueduct crossed valleys, the Romans built huge stone arches to hold the water channel high in the air. Inside the top of the aqueduct, water flowed through a narrow channel, moving steadily toward the city. As the water reached Rome, it flowed into large storage tanks called distribution basins. From there, pipes carried the water to fountains, homes, public toilets, and giant bathhouses. The Roman baths needed lots of water every day, so aqueducts helped keep the pools filled and the city running. Pretty amazing, right? The Romans used gravity, stone, arches, and clever engineering to bring fresh water across miles and miles, without electric pumps. So what do you think of how Romans took baths, Ruby?
They were great, but I think I like my bubble baths more.
All right, Ruby, time to go home. But we'll come back to go to the gladiators at the Colosseum and go see a chariot race at the Circus Maximus.
Remember to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you will be the first to see part 2 of Max and Ruby's Roman adventure.